So today we're going to create a Helm chart repository using GitHub. A Helm chart repository, it's a location where package charts can be stored and shared. First things first, we need to create a new repository. Let's call it repo. You can call it whatever you like. In my case, I'm going to go for repo. Now the next step is to clone the repository on our local machine. So if we do a git clone, we have an empty repository. If we cd into it, the next step is to create a directory. I'm going to call it charts, and here I'm going to create our first chart. So Helm create charts test. I'm going to call it test, and if we take a look, we have this simple structure with the charts directory and our first Helm chart, which is called test. We can even test it. So if we do a Helm install test release and charts test, if we do a Helm list, we can see that it has been successfully installed in our cluster. Let's uninstall it, and the next step is to package it, right? So we're going to Helm package our chart, which is under charts test. Now if we run once more tree, we have our tgz file, meaning our package chart, and of course this repository is going to be Helm chart repo, right? So it needs an index file, and for that we're going to do a Helm repo index, the current directory, the root of the GitHub repository, and the URL. It's going to follow this structure. Your username, in my case dejanu.github.io, and we're going to see in a couple of seconds why. And now is the name of the repository, in our case repo. Now if we do tree once more, we're going to see we have this index file. Cool. Next step, let's create a readme file just to see something visually. So if we create readme.markdown, this, let's call it Helm repo for charts. Cool. Now we're going to add everything as one big bulk commit. I'm going to create a commit. Let's call it first chart, and I'm going to create a new branch just to make it more obvious. So I'm going to call it GitHub pages, and I'm going to push it our origin. And now if we refresh our repository, we can see that everything has been pushed. Now why I said about github.io, basically we need to transform our repository called repo in GitHub pages, which basically it's a way for us to host and serve our static HTML content, like a static website, and basically it's going to serve whatever it's going to find in the root of the repository. We're going to deploy it from a branch, in our case GitHub pages, save, and actually behind the scenes is going to trigger a build. As we can see here, we have a build that has been queued, and let's take a look. So the entire purpose of this is to have a Helm repository. So if we do on our local machine a Helm repo list, we can see that we have Prometheus, Bitnami, Fairwinds, Grafana, so on and so forth. Then the next step for us is to add our repository. Basically, after this build is going to be successfully run, we can see that under the following URL, meaning GitHub user account.github.io / the name of the repository, you're going to have your static website, your GitHub pages. So we have a success build. So if we go to, in my case, dejanu.github.io repo, we can see that actually our readme markdown has been served. Helm repo for charts, right, is this one. And now we can try to test our charts. So first things first, we're going to add our repository, right? So we need to Helm repo add the name of the repository, meaning the username of your GitHub account, and here of course is, as we said, https username.github.io / the name of the repository. Nice. If we do a Helm repo update, we're going to proceed further and do a Helm repo search. Let's do a search repo, and we can see that we have our test Helm chart inside our repository, which we successfully added. Even more, if we do a Helm install test release from our currently added repository, meaning Dejanu, we're going to pass the test, and if we do a Helm list, we can see that our test release has been successfully deployed. And basically this release, it's a actual Nginx deployment. So if we do a get pods, we can see that we have our Nginx deployment running as a Helm release. And basically this was the easiest way to create a Helm chart repository using GitHub in a couple of minutes. So thank you.